Hi everyone and welcome to Crypto Signal. We are going today to see what about the liquidity on the Bitcoin market, especially the derivatives market, because right now everything is about liquidity. So I'm going to show you the chart on Bybit, and you're going to see that we have a box of liquidity right here. We have another one right here, and depending on the opacity of these boxes, you have more liquidity or less liquidity. Two possibilities here, and you see I'm a big user of the trend lines. We had a distribution here that was all right, and this one there, which is not broken yet. This one was more aggressive, it's broken. So these two distributions have to be broken if we want the price to get for an upside as a minimum around 29,000 and in this box, let's say between 28,500 and 29,000. So that's quite important to break this distribution. To do this, we could hold this accumulation, which is here. If we lose it, we can say that these two bucks are going to be taken. For the moment, there is a good reaction you see on this level, because you only have little spikes here coming down, but they are systematically, so you have a hold level right here, they are systematically rebound, so that's interesting to watch. So that's the levels on the daily chart. If you zoom in to get the 4 hours, you see that we are in this triangle of indecision. So at the moment, if we break up, there is a good chance that we come back to visit this distribution trend line. If we don't break up, it means we are going to have to hold this level to continue to be into a long scenario. We're gonna watch now what is the news, and the main news is around the IRS, which is in United States trying to destroy the DeFi system. That's the main news of the week, in my opinion. This is not very good for DeFi, but it's good for clarity of regulations, let's say. Economic calendar, next week there is a lot of things to watch. The first one will be the ADP employment, which is a private employment report, and which is going to give us some clues about what's going to happen 2 or 3 days before, when we get to the real employment report from the government. There will be a revision of the GDP as well, so that's quite important as well, because you get the second revision of the GDP, so that could be a good catalyzer of the soft landing, let's say, soft landing narratives. Of course, the PCE, so you see the next week is really, in terms of economic calendars, very, very, very heavy. PCE, and we know that the Fed is now following a lot. We saw it into yesterday's Jerome Powell speech. The core PCE index is going to be very important to watch at. If you look at the trading economics, the consensus for the month-over-month is at 0.2, and the previous was 0.2. So if we get to this number, it's going to be okay. It's already in the prices. If we get below or under this number, this could be a bad or a good news about the PCE. The consensus as well for the year over year is 3.3, and you see that the previous was 3%, so it's not very good in terms of what we saw on the CPI. What we already saw on the CPI was the inflation is finding some kind of plateau around 3%, so let's watch it with very precise accuracy about this is going to be on Thursday. And on Friday, the employment. At the moment, I think that employment and hourly wage are the most important metric to look at to know if Jerome Powell is going to pause on the rate hikes, or if he's going to continue to simply continue to raise the rates. In my opinion, it's not going to do nothing for the next month. That's also what the market is thinking. If you look at this, sorry, not this one. If you look at the CME tool to prevent and to understand, to forecast where is going to be the next rate hikes, you have 80% of the market which thinks that Jerome Powell is going to stay at the same level in the next meeting, which is in around 21-25 days. and 20% of the market which is thinking Jerome Powell is going to rate hikes another 0.25. Liquidities, 39 million has been liquidated yesterday, and half of it was on Ethereum and Bitcoin together. A few altcoins that are coming in, which in the top 10, Pepe, Tomo, and BLZ. We liquidated mainly longs, and we're gonna watch the order book. The order book is quite empty from 25,700 until 26,500, so there is a big gap here that could bring the price higher or lower, but nothing in between to stop the price if there is a nice trend on this weekend. Liquidity levels, well, you have quite a big level here in to be taken from the longs, because here you had a very high open interest climbing, funding climbing, the price is climbing a little bit, so this is quite normal that the funding is climbing a little bit more, but I could say that there is quite a big point to take here. This stop was taken. There was a lot of shorts on this stop, but just before the Jerome Powell speech it was taken, so I put it in a smaller frame here, which is in these dots, which means the liquidity is not there anymore, but there is probably a little bit. And here we were longed quite as well. So 25,700 was longed, and 26,300 is shorted, but not as much. So we will see tomorrow where we went into these levels. When you watch the liquidity on high block, well, you can see that there is a box of liquidity on the longs, so this could be taken. There is quite a lot of liquidation to be taken here, which will bring us to 25,400. If we go to the top, I will say the box finishes around there, which is 26,500 now, as we did this spike here. A part of the shorts were taken. What is interesting to watch is that not such a lot of people went long on this rebound, while a lot of people went short on this drop. So let's say longs are here, but there is quite a lot of liquidity shorting now, which could bring the price more up. As you see, the delta, the cumulative liquidation levels delta, which is on the last 5 days, is quite at the equilibrium right now. There is not really liquidation in one sense or another. If you look at Bitcoin liquidity heat map in the last 12 hours, well, you can see we were quite long in the last 12 hours, probably more longed than shorted. But we are here in a sentiment which is more long on the last 12 hours than shorted. If you look at the 1 week, it's quite interesting. There is a box here. You see the new box. It's quite fresh, between 25,700 and 25,400, which could be visited. This box seems to be protected at the moment. We don't know if we're gonna go under 25,200, but there is a kind of protection that is always happening. This is what I showed you at the beginning of the video. This box is quite important, and the goal for this long could be 27,100 if the price spikes and takes this liquidity. I have a doubt about this box. It's quite big. It's getting bigger as the price is now quite flat. The weekend is more retail traders, so this and is more longed actually than shorted. Retails, they prefer to long than short, so maybe we could visit this thing, I would say tomorrow night, which is going to be Sunday. So that is what I see for the liquidities. Now we go to the end of the video and we try to make a conclusion on this. We're gonna make it on a small time frames. Alors, the structure appears to be kind of bullish. When you have something coming down like this is bullish. Why? Because you have more stops from shorts than from longs. You understand? Here we totally, on the structure, we totally we have taken the longs stop loss that were under here. So that's interesting. On the other side, so I would more play it long at the moment, but on the other side, if this accumulation is lost, I will see a visit of this little box that is here, which is the new box, the one I showed you on the liquidity. or even maybe to go and visit this one. This one is protected. You see, when there was a drop here, it was protected. The first time it went to, it was protected by this spike. Actually, it started to be protected and rebound around 25,500. So does these guys have the money to protect their position, and aren't we maybe getting into an uptrend at the moment, following this accumulation, protecting these positions because they have the money to do so, and heading up to quite a big reversal into the area of the 28,500? I will say that's my guess. That's my best scenario. But the problem is retails, and the problem is at the moment we saw the sentiment is quite longing. So we could follow this channel for quite a long time until we maybe get this box and then get some kind of protection in this area. This is what I would play. You see the protection starts to happen over here. There was a kind of range between here and there. We totally got out the shorts that were probably in this area, okay? And so the shorts here have been liquidated by this candle. Short term, I'm bullish. No, short terms, let's say, I think we're gonna drop and visit again at least this level. And then middle term, I'm more bullish. When I say middle term, it's like 4 or 5 days. You know, we talk about trading here, we don't talk about investing. So I will say that this range is going to break up, okay, and not to break down. This is my best guess. All right, guys, I hope you liked this video. Don't hesitate to put a like if you liked it. Every day, one analysis only on Bitcoin, and you understand the analysis is more about liquidity and the way the price could get up. We watch the news, but we don't watch it too much. We watch mainly the structure, and we watch mainly the liquidity, so the sentiment of the moment. That's what is interesting for us to trade the price, actually. So have a good day, and see you tomorrow for another video. Take care. Bye bye.